Good morning. This is Norma Cowie with a Sunday Thought. A week from now, Christmas Day will be over. And I, for one, was not feeling very Christmassy and didn't put any decorations up until this week. And what happened was, as you may be aware, I do a longer talk on Wednesdays called Norma Talks, covering a large variety of different topics. Usually at Christmas time, when I belong to a metaphysical church or society, what happens, I used to write the Christmas, you might call it message. And I'd write stories. I've written different stories over the years, coming from a different angle. And last year, I read a story that I had written the year before. And so and presented it on my Norma Talks. So I began sitting down and I began having a little story come to me. It's not as long as I normally write, but it is a little Christmas story, which I will present on Wednesday. But the interesting thing happened to me. As I was writing it and feeling the storyline about Jesus's birth, and about what that means and what that entails, I began to have a shift. And after that, I got up and I put my little Christmas tree up and I just put some other decorations around. I began to feel a sense of what happens around Christmas time, and that is generosity. Christmas time traditionally has been a time when people gave. And as they gave, it helped those less than or those in difficult circumstances, etc. I'm not sure that's happening this year. I know in several countries there are different levels of lockdowns beginning to happen. We're already being put on, can't have so many people, and travel has been a little impeded. It sounds like it's easing up, but it's not like the old days. It really isn't, when families would gather. And I remember in my childhood, large gatherings at Christmas time. Now, remember, I was brought up down under where Christmas meant barbecues outside. And as kids, we had, when they used to throw candies, or down under, they call them lollies, and we would scramble for them. And sometimes we'd be at the beach, and sometimes not all the family would be there. But I have a large family down there as a child, and it was very important to me to be part of all that, and especially as I grew older. But generosity. What do we give to? What do we support? Now, I think all of us have a sense of giving. We give to those things that we support. And I know I do. And I know sometimes I'm a little tardier than I need to be, because I get caught up in my own world of what's happening. But always at Christmas, you stop and you think, how can you help? How can you deal with others? How can you share the blessings you've had with other people? And so today, really, the whole thing is about, where are you being generous? Or are you? Are you being generous with yourself? Now, I usually over the years have gone out and bought myself a new top or dress or something for Christmas Day. The last few years, I have not done that. Mainly because of circumstances. I live by myself, friends. Last year, a few of us got together for Christmas dinner. This year, the same thing is happening. We're getting together for Christmas dinner. And I'm very fortunate in that. It's just a small group. But it's like the sharing and the generosity and the sense of goodwill. What's this? The feeling of goodwill to others. I almost am forgetting to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or something when I'm in the store. How many others are doing that? We're trudging along doing what we want. Now, we've had snow here the last few days. And so as I look out my window and I look at, I don't know, probably a couple of inches of snow. A friend of mine down further has been shoveling snow off and on for a couple of days now. They tend to get more snow than what we do in our area. And I look out my window and I see blue skies with light, white, fluffy clouds. Very pretty, very nice. and it is fairly cold. It's below zero, but it was colder the other day when I went out and I had to go out early. So anyway, what I'm getting at is that this time of the year is usually when we count our blessings. It's almost like thankfulness, but we share. We share what we can. We donate. There are charities, and there's usually people out there that will receive money. So make sure that those less fortunate than ourselves get something. And you think of the children whose parents right now have lost jobs. And what kind of Christmas are they having when they don't know when their next monies are going to come in to buy food? Now, because we had floods and a lot of traffic wasn't able to get through, a lot of our shelves are still fairly empty on things. And I know I have to go out today to get a couple of things in the afternoon. But the point is, what I really want us to say is to remember, a week from now, that special day will be over. And I'll probably talk about that. But at the same point, we're getting ready and preparing. I want you to think of where have you been generous? Where have you been working with goodwill and a sharing element? And if you get too tight, life doesn't contribute to you. Every time I find I have difficulty in my life, I realize my life got small. I got small. Wasn't so generous here, there, or anywhere, because I was all caught up in my own world, in my head anyway. So it's just time to sit back, take stock, and begin to enjoy. This is a time of lights. And I haven't even been around the streets yet to look at the lights all lit up. I always do that. It's one of the things I love about Christmas. All the lights outside the houses. We're dark here at 4:30 in the afternoon right now. And solstice is coming, so then we start going, but it's not until mid-January that we begin to feel that, okay, we're not living in the dark. But I want you to recognize that light is in you. Is inside, not isn't you, sorry, is in you. That didn't come out very well. So what we want to know is that light that's in you, then your heart, your sense, and your fellow man. This is your fellow man. These are people like yourself. They feel, they think. Some people feel more than others. Some people think more than others, but we all are very similar. Believe me, when they break us down, that's all we are the same things. We're carbon-based. We have feelings. We have all sorts of other things. And this is the time to enjoy. This is the time to give. This is the time to be aware that there's more in life than just you. And the words that come from, our background that gives us a sense of feeling and knowing and awareness of, it's not only about someone's birth, which is not even the real date, but the birthday we celebrate. It is also about being together, being generous, being aware, and allowing that, as they say, peace and goodwill to move and spread out from you. You are a light. Is your light dim or is it bright? I want to thank you for listening. I trust that you will have a great week. And if you can listen on Wednesday, please do so because of my little story. It's a very little one, but it's a cute one, I think. Enjoy.